Okay, Mr. Anthony, sir. Please go ahead and do your thing, sir.
All right, how you guys doing? This Anthony Zamora. This is part two of my story. Um, Real quick before I get started, I just want to say that in any way, shape, or form, this I'm not trying to promote the bad things I've done. You know, back then when I was active and doing the things I was doing, I'm not proud of the things I've done, and this is just my story. I'm not trying to get his clout or anything like that. This is just my story. So I'm gonna talk about when I bailed out, how I did finally end up bailing out. My mom ended up getting my parole hold out off, and I ended up touching down. And I remember coming home for the first time after being in prison those 4 years. And
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Being able to see my mom and my little sisters, for the first time in a long time, and being able to hug them, the greatest feeling in the world. So from that point, went home, did the family thing for a couple of days, and I'm out there now, and me and my oldest sister and one of her friends, which was one of my ex-girlfriends back then, we ended up going to the club one night. I've been out about 2 or 3 days, and we go out to this club out in Artesia. There's a club out there called the Mirage, and we went out, did our thing, and on the way home, there's this 7-Eleven that's right next to my sister's apartments where we're staying at the time. And while I was in there, I remember this car had pulled up, and dude gets off the car, and he walks in. He's right away looking at me all funny. So I bang on dude, and he ends up being from Artesia, and Artesia is it's one of my rival gangs from my area, and I've lost a couple of good friends, to the gang, and it's hard to to bump into someone like that and not act on it. But at the same time,
Hey, brother, you sound pretty distant.
Hold on. All right, how about now?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. So you started to sound like a robot.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Go ahead and proceed. Sorry about that.
So we're in the 7-Eleven, and we're having this little confrontation, and my sister and this girl that I'm with, they're trying to pull me away, to leave it alone. This dude's a little older, but right away he right away started telling me, right when he introduced himself, that he wasn't on this gangbanging tip no more. That he's about his money, that he actually worked for one of my big homies from my barrio. So, I honestly, I didn't even, I'm still a kid, I'm not even thinking that way, I didn't even believe dude. So, he started telling me that it's all about the money now. And I remember he pulled out a fat ass wad of money. He is, honestly, I thought he was just trying to floss in front of my sister and the girl I was with at the time. And he's like, yeah, it's all about the money, like that's all I'm about. I'm not even here for all that. So I was, I let it go, and I was like, what, if it's all about the money, bro, then why don't you go ahead and pay for our drink then, And dude was like, yeah, go ahead, grab whatever you guys want. So, I started grabbing the biggest shit we could get. My sister, my girl, but grabbing a bunch of things, and homeboy ends up paying for it. And yeah, that was basically it. I ended up letting that situation go. We went home that night. Fast forward 2 days later, mind you, we're right there in Buena Park, and there's like a high school right here where my sisters used to live. And like in the mornings when people are dropping out, there's a gang of cars, coming back and forth. And I remember I was outside early in the morning that day, smoking a blunt on the phone with my girl, and it's Escalade, it creeping, like pulling up towards me. But I'm looking at dude, and I'm like, man, I know this fool from somewhere. Well, he ends up pulling up and slows down, and ends up being old boy from 7-Eleven the other night. And he ends up parking it, gets off the car, and he comes up to me, he says, what's up, good morning, whatever. And he starts telling me that, you know what I mean, that he was serious when he told me he was about his money, and working for my homie and whatnot. So I was like, all right, that's cool, like, let me make a couple phone calls and, I'll get back to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, I wanted to check him out, you know what I'm saying, see if he was real or not. Well, old boy is checking out, so I come back outside, and he's waiting for me out there. And, you know what I mean? I was already doing my thing before I had parole from prison, but it was just hard to, grasp the concept that I'm gonna be doing, working with an individual that, you know what I'm saying, we killing each other, we right across the street from him, you know what I'm saying, and we out there blowing holes in each other, so it was kind of different for me. But I just remember how it was when I was in prison, how we're all together in there, and, they forced us to get along, because of powers and numbers and all that. So I was like, fuck it, bro. If you're going to do something, let me know. Because like I was saying in part one of my story, I was out there already doing robberies and stuff, but all I was really doing was robbing little bullshit liquor stores and donut shop, check cashers, small things, and homeboy, he's actually, this dude was working for him already, so, he got slicks lined up, and I'm talking about like connects, like people that basically he would get all the information on these people, and if he would find out they weren't paying taxes and paying in, they were free game. So he would call me up, I'll meet up with him, and he would give me the spots to go to. So I just used to roll, just me and my little homie, we would pull up to these spots and kick in doors, and I remember
Hey, brother, you sound distant again.
Let me try to fix it. Is it cool?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that.
It's on my end. It's still plugged. So, I remember this one day, we went to go hit this lick, and, I don't want to get into too much in detail, but we ended up walking out with, tens of thousands of dollars, and probably like, a few pounds of some hair, some white, it was a lot of dope, you know what I mean, and cash. So I remember I was telling my homie, like, man, we good, we set on this one. And I remember when I went to meet up with dude, he was like, I need everything. And I was like, well, what you mean you need everything? You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, just slide me everything. Homeboy's going to go through and he's going, you know what I'm saying? He's going to slide you your cut. So I just remember looking at the homie like, dude, is this dude serious? Like, all right, it's cool, let's see how they do this, And, so I gave them all the dope. I gave them literally every...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, every dollar that we took, I handed it over to dude. He ends up taking off, and I ended up meeting up with him later on that day. And just to collect some crumbs, literally, dude ends up giving us, a few $100 and a little sack of fucking black, out of everything that we just did. Like, bro, I just risked my life right now. I'm got in a shootout with these people in this motel, and this is all we getting? All right, it's cool, So there was little things like that I started adding up, like, It's just, that greedy, like, it just wasn't worth it to me. At the same time, I enjoyed doing what I was doing, so I kept doing it. And, pretty soon I started selling heroin again out there on the streets as well. So, I ended up, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I ended up meeting, mind you, I'm out on bail right now. I've only been out maybe a month at the time. So I ended up meeting this, I went to the strip club with my homies, and
you have 60 seconds remaining.
I ended up meeting this stripper girl, and it was Mimi, and it was my girl at the time, so she was rolling with me, basically, doing everything with me, and so I'm gonna fast forward to my second term. One day, I I've been out about 2 months. I'm already on the run at this point. I was supposed to turn myself in for that in-house case that I had. I ended up only getting a year, actually. I went to court and I was supposed to, the judge gave me 2 weeks to turn myself in. But, I was out there trying to live life, and honestly, I didn't care about anything at that point. I didn't care about nobody. I was a really selfish person back then. And, even my family, I let them down many times on many occasions. And, yeah, okay. So, I'm rolling with this girl. I'm doing these not home invasions, but we're doing these robberies, hitting these connects and stuff. And the money is good. I'm actually living pretty good out there at the time. I was able to help my family out a lot. Repay them for everything that they had done for me. While I was in prison the first time, and they had helped me bail out, just everything in general. And it felt good to be able to. I used to like that feeling of being able to provide for my family. Like my family, that's everything to me. That's my world right there. So, it just felt good to finally be able to provide for them and do things for them. And, in the meantime, one thing though that I never did is I never brought the things that I did on the street, to my family. So, I try to keep that stuff away from them as much as possible. At this point though, I'm starting to get deeper into the game, and now I'm plugged in a little bit. I'm still a kid though. I really don't know too much about anything really. But yeah, I was just really just making my money out there, and I was still, I was going to my barrio gangbang, doing all that stuff too, and those are whole other stories, but. It's about 2 months now that I've been out and I'm on the run now. I never turned myself in for this case. So, I'm rolling with this girl one day and we're coming out this motel early in the morning. And I just remember a cop passed right by us right when I was coming out the parking lot or the driveway of that motel. And I remember the way he looked at me that I knew he was going to pull me over. My girl is like, man, he's not tripping, just go. I don't know why I listened to this female, bro. I ended up pulling out, and sure enough, this fool, I didn't even see him no more. He had pulled out to one of the parking lots somewhere, and right when I passed by him, I knew he pulled right up behind me and threw the lights on me. As soon as he did that, I was like, man, it's all bad. Mind you, I have a bunch of dope in my car at the time. I'm riding dirty, I'm riding dirty. I'm always got a banger on me, so I'm not pulling over. Plus I'm on the run. So I told my girl, like, look, we gone. I'm out here I think we're in Buena Park. We're right there, right by a knock.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
There's a lot of traffic right there, so it's kind of hard to get away from the police like that, and anyways, I end up hitting a couple cars, getting away a little bit, and I end up landing on right there off of like La Palma and Beach. There's a claim jumper and there's like there's a bunch of little shopping centers right there, right next to Knott's Berry Farm. And I remember telling my girl, like, look, I'm gonna jump out the car, and the cops more than likely they're gonna follow me. They're all gonna come after me. So you jump in the driver's seat and dip out, So I'm just trying not to get caught with all this shit I got in the car. So I pull up to this to the red light, and I just throw the car in park, hop out, and take off running. Well, when I took off running, my girl, she did exactly what I told her, and sure enough, all the police followed me. So it worked out perfect. The only thing that was fucked up is I didn't know that one of those cops had a K9 unit in there. So honestly, if I ran across the street into that claim jumper parking lot, and I remember it was a dirt field. You jump down over a wall, and there's like a dirt field that leads into the residential area. And I knew some people that had lived over there in that area, so that's what I was trying to make it to. But I remember the cop pulled up right next to me, dude, and I guess he got stuck. Like he couldn't take his gun out of his holster. So what he did is he got his canine and threw him out the window. I didn't even know. I already had jumped the wall, and I'm gone. I'm running. Next thing you know, all I hear is I look behind me and there's this fucking canine dude just coming up on me quick, dude. And yeah, all I remember is this fool locking onto my leg, and it was just bad from there, dude. Fucking, I ended up getting while the dog was biting me and shit, the cops ended up running up on me, and they got their strap on my face, you know what I mean? Well, dog, they're not even trying to call the dog off me. I got bit up probably like 40 times, chewed my legs up, bro, fucking ripping chunks of meat out, all that shit. So it ended kind of messed up, but at the same time, my girl was able to get away with all the shit, so it all kind of worked out. Well, they ended up taking me to Orange County Jail. So I pull up, I get to Orange County Jail, and I ended up bumping into a few people that knew me from my first term,
Three-way call alert.
When I was in CRC. So it was cool, I landed on a cool tier, at this point, like, I still haven't really got deep into politics yet or nothing like that, but people know who I am, I always carried myself I conducted myself, in a good manner, like the homies that did, take me under the wing, they taught me right, they taught me how to carry myself well. So I guess one of the dudes I remember that had the module at the time, he took a liking to me, and I remember when he took off, he left a module to me. So, this is my first time, having some kind of power, and it felt good. Dude left me the module, and I just remember a lot of cats right there. They're all out there. Everyone's from Orange County, so. I know they're kind of hating because, I'm out here, I'm from LA. I'm not even from around this area, and kind of bothered a couple people that, I was in play right there. So, yeah, they would try to do things to smug me up right there. You know what I'm saying? Try to drag my name through the mud, whatnot. But, it's nothing they could really say about me, period, So, yeah, I was there for a little while. I ended up picking up that case for what was it, felony evading from the cops or running from the police in the car. They gave me 32 months for that. And then plus I had that in-house case from my prior prison term, the one I had bailed out on. So altogether they ended up giving me another 4 years. And well, actually I didn't get that extra year yet. I actually picked up this time for that case, and I went upstate again. So I go through reception center, whatnot, and then now my points now though have boosted up, So now I'm going to my first level 4 yard, and I remember my first level 4 yard I had got to was they sent me to Calipat, and I landed right there on B yard. So I get to B yard, it's my first level 4 yard. I really don't even know how to South live yet, because I was doing my time in dorms, prior to that. So all this was kind of new to me, Now I was like, okay, this is prison, because, the lower levels, it doesn't really even feel like you're in prison. I mean, besides just having your freedom taken from you, it's nothing like being, stuck in a cell like, how I am right now. But, yeah, I ended up getting there, and I landed in the block where the Llavero's at on the yard, and I'll never forget that fool, the homie, I used to look up to this dude, and as soon as I get there, I remember, as soon as I get there, the homies come through, check your paperwork, whatnot, give you all the whole rundown, and then right away, that was a homie from BA's right there. And I had told him, when I first got there, if anything pops up, let me know. I got you guys, like my hand, what I'm saying? My shield's up always, So they instantly took advantage of that. I remember I had only been there maybe like a week or so. And yeah, right there, the police right there, they used to pop us out, and they would let us, if somebody was messing up, or
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
they would let us do our little check. Y'all guys in the shower, and B-section shower is kind of big, so they would lock us in the shower, and the only thing is they would want to watch it though, but they would let us, do this without getting a write-up. So in my head, I was like, cool, I'm putting in work, and at the same time, I don't gotta worry about getting written up. So, I was there about a week, and I remember I did my first little mission right there. I mean, it wasn't no mission, we didn't stab nobody or nothing, but we beat this dude up in the shower, and after that, I don't know, for whatever reason, really, they're not supposed to ask. If you have a date, they're not supposed to ask you, to stab anybody, And man, I just used to trip out how my whole tier I used to be in South 201, and I remember from 201 all the way down to the whole section right there, you got all these dudes that are lifers, and they ain't done shit in fucking years, been there for hella long, ain't been to the hole, ain't done nothing. And something had came up with some dude from my area, and he needed to get stabbed, So they had asked, I guess, a bunch of homies. They went down the tier, and everyone was refusing to do it. And I remember the homie had came to my door real frustrated, and he's like, man, a lot of people like, I really don't even want to ask you, I know you have a date. He's like, but this dude got to go, fucking, I guess he had some bad paperwork, he had a R on his jacket for something, from a long time ago. And, they wanted us to get this dude right there in the shower. And, I just remember, like, man, I was like, fuck, dude, if you can't find no one else to do it, don't trip. I got you, And I'm actually about to get a visit this day. It was a trip, bro. Fuck.
Three-way call alert.
I'm literally waiting for my visit. I remember my sister was coming with her man, and they were coming to see me that day. And, here I am right here. I'm getting ready for a visit, and now I gotta go act like I'm taking a shower so I could hit homeboy and shit. And I was upset because of all the people that were there and had been there, and they hadn't even done nothing. But I was so worried, I was so not worried about, but that the llavero that was there at the time, like I said, I used to look up to this dude, like he had the yard, he had phones and shit. He he was the plug, he was doing his thing, making money. Like, I wanted to be that way, I wanted to be that man, and, I didn't want to let him down by telling him, no, I got this visit. So I ended up rolling with it, dude. We end up, he ends up getting us popped out for a shower. And, homeboys in the shower, they're, right there, like, when they run showers, you could double up, like the police will let you go, and there'll be like 4 people in a 2-man shower, And I remember I rode with one of the homies from Cantananas, and when homeboy's already in the shower, we went in there, we started, getting undressed, acting like we were gonna jump in the shower with him. And I remember dude was already drying off to come out, and I'm supposed to hit dude and walk away, So that's exactly what happened. Basically, while homeboy was drying off, we step in, and I remember homeboy had turned around to step out the shower, and they didn't want us to do nothing like they weren't trying to kill him or nothing like that, they just wanted him off the yard. So I remember I hit dude.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Like 2 or 3 good times, and just walked away, handed off the piece to the homie, and I literally made it all the way back to my cell before the alarm went off. And I remember when the alarm went off, it was messed up because the homie had nothing to do with it. They ended up snatching up old boy, and he ended up going to the hole for basically something that I did, and it was just crazy, man, the shit that we doing here, and at the same time, here I am, like 10 minutes later, I go in my cell, I'm washing off, and getting ready for this visit. Then the alarm went off. They took dude and they had locked everything down. But since my sister was already inside of visitation, they ended up still calling me. And I remember they came and got me. I thought they were coming to get me to go to the hole, but they were actually coming to escort me to